Welcome to another class in our Yoga for Resilience series. Today we are doing breathing, and we're not doing a traditional pranayama exercise here, but we're going to look at holding our breath for as long as we can. And when I say as long as we can, like, don't push yourself here, take it nice and gently, but we're not going to be holding it for a specific amount of time. We're going to be holding it for as long as you feel comfortable. So let's just find a nice, easy place to sit or lie down. Wouldn't recommend doing this one standing. And again, if you haven't done this before, don't push yourself. Don't go too hard. But let's just take a couple of easy breaths together to get started. So hopefully you're settled in now, and we'll just dive in and give it a go. So take a nice deep breath and then just hold it, and just want you to notice what it feels like, what's going on. Stop as soon as it starts feeling uncomfortable, but let's give that a go now. So when you're ready to release, just let your breathing come back to normal. And this is in a way more of a teaching moment than an exercise you would do on a regular basis. I have tried doing this on a regular basis, and it was interesting, but not something I would recommend building into your daily practice. But I think it is good to try it because it has some really interesting things. So what you might notice is the first thing you do when you try and hold your breath is you tense up. So we take in that air and we hold it, and then we feel a lot of tension beneath our shoulders. And I don't know if it showed on the video, but one of the first things I always have to do when I go into that is remember to relax all of my shoulders. In fact, let's try that together again. So we'll take a deep breath in. So what you probably noticed there, if you're paying attention, is that as soon as you try to hold the breath, everything kind of scrunched up. And if we do that, it's generally unhelpful, because then we're more tense and we're more likely to feel like we need that oxygen. Whereas if we allow ourselves to relax, then we're much more comfortable. So again, when we try it next time, give us that relaxation. The other thing that you probably noticed is that the body really doesn't like this idea of holding our breath, because our bodies are designed, are wired to keep us alive, and so they start panicking very quickly. And as humans, we can go about 3 minutes without air, but even as soon as we try and hold our breath, it can feel uncomfortable. And generally, in about 30 seconds, we feel a real need to breathe. Even though we're nowhere near that 3-minute mark, we're 1/6 of the way there. Our bodies are really primed to keep us alive, which is great. We want to be staying alive. But one thing that we don't have to do is react to that sensation straight away, right? So we take that breath in, and then we notice that kind of panicked, I need to breathe sensation. So let's give it another go together now, and I want you to focus on a couple of things. So I want you to notice how much tension you're carrying here and just try and relax that. And then I just want you to monitor your feelings, monitor your self-awareness as the exercise goes on, and just see how you're feeling and what you're thinking. So let's take a deep breath in, and then again, just take a moment for your breathing to return to normal. So notice whether you're able to relax and take some tension out of there, and just relax into it a little, but also what sensations come up for you. Probably feelings of panic to varying degrees, like not terror perhaps, but a real feeling that, oof, I need to breathe here, I need more oxygen. And that kind of sensation it's a good idea because we all want to breathe right, but it isn't actually something we need to attend to straight away, because we can actually go way longer than our body will allow us to go comfortably before we actually come to any physical harm. And a lot of the time that's like everyday life. So something happens to us, we feel an emotion, and we feel the need to react to that straight away. So someone annoys us, someone makes us angry, and we want to shout at them. Something scary happens, and we want to run away. And those signals are sometimes useful. In fact, they're often useful. They're the things that keep us alive. But sometimes they're unjustified. Sometimes we don't want to respond with anger. Sometimes it's irrational to respond with fear. And so if we can tune in and pay attention to those, then we can decide whether we want to act on them or not. So we'll go through this one more time. And what I want you to think about this time is really tuning into those sensations of, okay, my body is telling me I need to breathe, I need to stop this holding my breath nonsense, and whether you really need to respond to that. And the answer, of course, at some point will be yes, you absolutely should. But just notice yourself noticing those sensations and taking conscious control of whether you act on them or not. So as soon as we start holding our breath, our body starts to suggest to us with feelings, maybe with thoughts, you should breathe, you need more oxygen. And we can notice those and decide when we act, when it really feels like it is a time that we need to start breathing again. So we'll take a deep breath in and then go. So take a moment, pause, notice what you noticed there, just as we allow our breath to get back to normal. So a couple of things you might have noticed there. One is that actually there's an initial phase where you're like, I need to breathe, I need to breathe, I need to breathe. But as we just notice and we pay attention to that, and we realize that we're just observing those feelings, those emotions, and we can choose on to act on them or not, then sometimes that feeling of we need to breathe actually recedes a little as we realize that we're in control. And then as we really start to run out of oxygen further down the line, it comes back, we realise, okay, yes, this is the time I need to breathe. But also that idea that it can feel quite uncomfortable quite early on. And that's the same with, if we have spider phobia and we see a spider, we're filled with that terror. But if we can notice that a little bit, then we can choose how to act rather than running. If someone really annoys us and we can notice that anger, we can choose whether to act or not before we shout at them. And here we can notice that our body's telling us that we need to breathe, and we can choose whether or not we breathe or not. And of course we do, because it's a good idea. But by bringing some awareness to that, then we can really take some control and turn off this kind of autopilot of us just running on emotion. So hopefully that made sense, and that was an interesting experiment, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class.